Every one of you watching this screen, look out.
Anything can happen in the next half hour.
What did I tell you about cartoons?
They've got a lot of brains, and they've got a lot of chutzpah.
Tell me how comic books make you feel, Dave.
Surely you can't be serious.
I am serious, and don't call me Shirley.
Hello, this is Jim Bridges, and I'm the president and founder of the Australian Cartoon Museum. And here today we have a guest, my son, who happens to like Dragon Ball Z. Hello, Robert. How are you?
Great, thanks, Jim. Bad?
Oh, watch it. Okay, Dragon Ball visual history. It comes in a box. This is the box. Chuck the box away. Okay, right. And here it is. Now, we're doing this because it's a popular show, right? How popular is it? Like, how long is it and all that stuff? Because you see, Robert is an expert and I'm not.
Well, it's a very popular manga around the world. So it kind of obviously was heavily westernised and brought over to the US and dubbed into English and stuff. And it's sort of like the big thing in the 90s, you know, along with things like Pokemon and stuff like that.
So it goes back to the 90s?
No, it started in 1984 in Weekly Shonen Jump.
Which is a weekly manga.
Well, it's like it's a weekly magazine in Japan that has all different mangas in there.
And it was just one of the stories, and then it kicked on its own, yeah?
Well, yeah, it's the one story that starts from this era where the main character's quite young. And
it's called Dragon Ball.
Yeah, that's right.
Why is it called Dragon Ball, and is that dragon part of it?
Yeah, so the series is called Dragon Ball because these characters are going on a big adventure to collect 7 mystical orbs, which are called Dragon Balls. If you get all 7, you get to summon this eternal mystical dragon who grants you any wish you want.
Well, I've never seen a dragon in the show. All they do is fight, so you never see the dragon. You never see the dragon. There's a bit of fighting, is there?
There's a lot of dragons too, but yeah.
Well, I've never seen a dragon. So who are these characters? What are their names?
So these are amongst the first characters other than the main one.
Did they grow up, did they?
Yes, they do. That's the main character, Goku, on his cloud.
Yeah.
Who he has to be pure of heart to ride that. Anyone else jumps on it, they'll just fall straight through.
Really?
So
that cloud has a tail.
Yeah, it's part of it's like Wisp or Will-O-Wisp, whatever you want to call it.
Okay, all right.
The first person that he meets is that girl there with the blue hair.
Yeah.
Bulma. And she's already started collecting these orbs.
Okay.
And she's found Goku, who's a little boy who lives in the woods by himself.
Yeah.
She's gone there because he has one, and she has a radar that can sort of find him.
Who's this little bugger?
That's character's name's Puar.
Yeah.
And she's with this guy up there named Yamcha, who's a desert bandit who steals people's cars and caravans and stuff with brute force. He's a criminal, essentially.
So it's set in what time?
It's not really set.
I've never seen a car.
It's not really set in any particular
time. They have cars
but
in it, but do they? I've never seen. I've never seen
this
a car.
story was 1984.
Okay, all right.
You know, and it's not really based in the real world or anything. It's all completely made up. There's flying cars. There's dinosaurs.
Well, that's Western.
That's right. Yes.
So they go to different worlds.
No, it's just the artist, the creator. He's heavily inspired by a lot of Western culture and stories.
So is that unusual that a character like we never saw Astro Boy grow up?
No. It's funny you mention Astro Boy. Astro Boy is a huge inspiration for Dragon Ball.
Oh, so in the comics they had all these lines which they actually use in the actual animation.
Yeah, sometimes, yeah.
Because I can't stand it. To me it's limited and to me I call it constipation comics, So it's got a tail on it. Okay, and that's a good blue hair.
Yeah, sometimes it's blue, sometimes
Now
it's
he's
purple.
starting to look more like what I know about him.
Yeah, that's a bit of a. It looks like a bit of a tattoo art there. But
Yeah.
these are all his works throughout the years. But
So they're all drawn by the same guy.
yes,
Most of these. Okay.
Akira Toriyama.
Yep.
Um,
But these don't look like they're from the comic. They look like they're just,
these,
or they might be, but they're coloured. He's coloured
These are
them.
from a lot of front covers
Oh.
and promo artworks for calendars and things like that he's done, because the manga is black and white.
Yeah.
And maybe 1 or 2 pages every issue would have had like maybe one colour image in it.
And when did it start as a animation?
I'm not sure the exact year. I believe it was the early 90s.
Okay, so it was
Or
like
the late
about
80s, perhaps.
like
yeah.
about 5 years after it started.
Yeah, it could have been less, but...
Is that the girl with the blue hair growing up?
No, that's her around the same age, but
yeah.
obviously, you know, it's the 80s. There's a lot of popular cliches like, you know, pervy old men and, you know, girls wearing revealing stuff.
They have pervy old men even in Astro Boy.
Yeah, that's right.
So, see, I'm interested in the dragon, but I've never seen a dragon in the series. It's a pity.
There's several. You see him maybe 4 or 5 times in the original sort of first era.
Yeah.
But yeah, it definitely grows. The guy didn't really have a plan for the story. It was originally just sort of based heavily on, I think, Chinese folklore, Journey to the West.
Yeah, grew like Topsy.
Yeah, it just grew and evolved, and he just wing it all the time.
He's the dirty old man, is he?
Yeah, he's also his first martial arts master.
And that's Pixie.
Yes, that's right. Yeah, he's one of their friends.
And this guy, what are these dots?
Well, he left, I think, some kind of...
He's a monk.
Yeah, that's right. He left his temple.
Yeah.
His mates used to bully him, and he left because he wanted to become stronger. And
okay.
He ends up training under the old man with Goku.
Yeah.
And later, this guy, Yamcha, he tried to kill him. And
Yamcha?
His name's Yamcha.
Oh, yeah.
Most characters' names are sort of food puns.
Oh, okay.
You know?
And who's this character?
He's the main
bad
guy in the first era of Dragon Ball, in Goku's, his youth.
So he's supposed to...
He's the king of demons.
So what's all the fighting got to do with fighting the Dragon Balls?
It just
sort of... like if they win, they get one, or what? What is it?
No, nothing like that. Because nobody sort of knows about them. They could be sitting in a mountain in the middle of nowhere.
So
they could be sitting at the bottom of the ocean.
It's not that important. If they never find them, it doesn't really matter because it's all about the fighting, basically.
Well, the first...
he is a dirty old man, yeah.
The first few years of the manga, it was definitely more about the adventure.
Yeah.
And the boy growing up. He's learning about what it means to be part of society.
He got his license pretty early, didn't he?
He actually never got his license.
Ah.
There's he goes for his driver's license in his late 30s and he fails.
Okay.
But he can fly by that point and he can teleport to anywhere in the universe if he wants.
Okay.
So,
and this is from a story, or is that where the...
This is based on... Okay, so there's 3 world martial arts tournaments in Dragon Ball.
Yes.
Which is like the strongest under the
yes,
heavens.
I've seen one of those.
And there's always 8 finalists. And this is the 3rd one in Dragon Ball, the last one.
Yeah.
In his childhood or younger years era.
Yeah.
So these are the 8 contestants in those finals.
Okay.
So there's his friend, he's a bit taller. There's that Yamcha guy.
Yeah.
He was an aspiring assassin who tried to kill him.
Yeah.
But they ended up becoming friends.
As you do.
And
he's the guy who's always fighting.
He is... They were mortal enemies then because Goku killed his father.
Ah.
His father
in a fight?
His father was trying to take over the world and he killed him.
Of course, you had to do that,
Yeah. And this is...
And his costumes change too, the colours and stuff.
It does change. He gets older.
But this is done by a different artist, isn't it?
No, it just looks like it's been blown
different
up.
style.
His style does change over the years.
Okay,
yes.
all right. And every picture in this is done by the same guy.
Yes.
And his name is again?
Akira Toriyama.
Yeah. And can you tell me something about him?
He is one of the biggest, most popular manga artists of all time. He was already a multi-millionaire before Dragon Ball even existed.
Ah, so he's got previous...
Yes, a series called Dr. Slump.
Oh, yeah.
Which he became very, very famous for.
Well, I've never heard of it, but obviously Dragon Ball Z pushed him into the stratosphere.
Yeah, he said in an interview, which he hasn't done many because he's a very private sort of person.
Yeah.
That Dragon Ball wouldn't exist if he'd never seen the movie called The Drunken Master,
which is
Jackie Chan.
Oh, okay.
He's a massive fan of Jackie Chan.
Yeah, who is it? I don't think anybody doesn't like him.
I believe Akira Toriyama had a museum at some stage.
Dinotopia.
He had a museum dedicated to Jackie Chan.
Oh, did he?
Somewhere.
What, he started it himself?
I believe so. It's like a small sort of museum.
Okay, yeah.
He's a big fan of Hollywood movies. He draws a lot of inspiration and he pays homage to a lot of movies like Terminator and Aliens and just popular movies.
So
like
they don't have send-ups like The Simpsons?
Nah, not really. They just sometimes he put his own twist on certain plots that exist.
Now I recognise most of these.
They're
characters.
A lot older now. That's his son.
Yeah,
when
he
he's
had a
about,
son.
Yeah, that's his son.
Well,
when he's about 10 years
mum?
old.
Who's mum? The girl with the blue hair.
No, that's his friend still.
But where's his mum?
His mum's at
kid's
home
mum.
cooking and worrying about her son.
I didn't even know he had a son.
He keeps dragging his son out to help him fight, but the
come he
mum wants him to stay at home.
How come he changes his hair sometimes?
No, his hair's all the same. He's just older.
No colours. Is there someone I've seen?
Oh yeah, the colours.
He changes the hair, the colour of his hair, doesn't he?
He changes,
or is that someone else?
He changes a lot of things.
No,
over the
Christmas.
years.
Look at this.
So
He looks really. He looks like he's really getting into the spirit.
He's very serious and stuff. And although he tried to kill him, he ended up winning his friendship over, and they're friends now. That's sort of how the story.
And the old
goes.
bloke, is he still in it?
He's in it because he's immortal.
Ah.
He drank from the fountain of youth,
Oh,
so
of
he
course.
can't die of old age, but he can be killed.
He can be.
And this character here is very interesting.
I've seen him too.
He's
What's his name again?
His name's Frieza, which is a pun.
And
on-
he's an alien, isn't he?
He is an alien, but
Yeah.
so is Goku. Goku is an alien.
Oh, where do they come from?
Frieza runs the intergalactic planet trade. So he sends his soldiers to cleanse planets of all their species and he sells them on the galactic market.
Oh.
Goku is from the Saiyan warrior race, and they all used to pillage and cleanse these planets for this guy.
So,
Goku.
I mean, is this some sort of Galactus character, like from
Yes.
Fantastic Four?
Yeah, you think
and a little bit of Silver Surfer in here as well?
Yeah, he's the all-powerful, the strongest baddie in the universe, the big bad.
So he died.
Emperor
He dyed
Palpatine
his hair
style.
like you did.
No, he was pushed to this point where he becomes a Super Saiyan in his fight with Frieza.
And his hair changes.
Yeah, Frieza murders his best friend,
Ah.
and his best friend can't be brought back with the Dragon Balls because he already has been once before.
Well, I've never actually seen a Dragon Ball once in that series, so it's obviously not that important. Oh,
Well,
yeah.
it's not anymore where the series currently is. It's still a part of it.
But like it's 90% fighting, isn't it?
Maybe 40% fighting.
Yeah.
There's a lot of drama there. A lot of characters go through all sorts of changes. Every character has their own sort of story arc that goes over many, many years.
So, besides people who still follow it from when it first started, you'd have all these people who come along, kids who come along, and then they fall in. So it has to change. It has to grow. It has to evolve.
It does, and it has.
Yeah. And what's his character?
His name's Cell, and he's a biomechanical he's an android.
Okay.
He was created by a scientist to take revenge on Goku, because when Goku was a young boy, he wiped out this evil army that was trying to take over the world and collect the Dragon Balls.
Yeah.
And the scientist studied Goku and his friends' DNA and martial arts and powers over like a 25-year period.
Yeah.
And gestated this creature in a tube who actually travelled through time to harass them and cause a lot of grief.
Okay, 1994.
This is.
I like the fact that this is chronological.
It is.
Who's this guy?
He is the current world champion of martial arts.
Okay.
He's the running joke of the series because he's very strong, but he's very weak compared to all the main characters. Like, the guy can pull buses and break tiles.
It's
he can't-
old-fashioned strength.
Yeah, but he can't blow up planets like these guys do.
Oh, yeah.
You know?
Blowing up planets. Okay.
And that's from the very end.
So the comics are very different.
Yes.
And they're still obviously coming out as comics.
Yeah, it stopped in the late 90s in Japan, and it came back 2012 or 2013, I think.
Yeah.
So there was
I remember
hiatus.
you were telling me it's all coming back.
Because the last part of the series, I think the creator was sort of a bit over it at that point, and he just wanted to put it behind him. But look, it's just one of those things when you got enough people banging on your door saying, "Hey, money."
Yeah.
You get put in position.
So what's this?
He's dead.
He's dead.
Yep. So this would be when Goku came back from the dead to visit his family, because he died for 7 years as his son grew into a young adult.
And so now he's still dead?
Not anymore, no.
Oh.
He was granted life by the supreme god of the universe.
Who? Well, tell me when we come across him. Who's this fat character?
Now, he's an interesting character. This is the last villain that they face in Dragon Ball Z.
Yeah.
He's just a monster, pure evil, and he's obsessed with destruction. He has no interesting sort of depth to him.
Okay. You mean some of these characters have interesting depth to them?
They do. He's a big blob because he ate like the god of the universe, and it turned him gentle. But then he becomes angry, and
so this is the same person?
Yeah, it's all the same guy. See, when he's like this, he ends up eating this guy.
Yeah.
And then transforms, takes on his jacket, and then he fights. That's Goku's son there.
Okay.
As an adult.
That's Goku.
That's Goku with his halo.
Yeah, and his halo. God.
There he is there with a blue dragon, which I've never seen, but it just looks cool.
Yeah, but is the dragon in the actual manga, or is
Yes.
Okay, so
it was a big part of the story for the first few years.
Who's this character?
I forgot his
Pussycat.
That's Nico Margin. So this is a different manga. He's sort of I think it was a short series that he
short,
did.
like there's a bit short year that one.
Like there he is wearing Goku's clothes, even though he's got really nothing to do with him. He's a gag manga artist. He likes comedy. And he's good at doing action.
Yeah. Playboy.
But yeah, he's not a big fan of.
That's a Playboy bunny.
Yes, that's right. She gets put into all sorts of outfits over the years.
Look at this guy. He looks great.
He's an emperor who wants all the Dragon Balls so he can wish for all the money in the world.
Okay.
And there's his teacher.
Yeah. How come it's changed colour?
I'm not sure. I guess it's just the style. Use different.
It was a dirty cloud when I first saw it. So this is all different style too.
Yeah.
Are you sure he's done all this stuff himself?
Yep.
Okay.
Absolutely.
Right.
His designs have just changed over the years.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Now
he was one of the generals.
He's a Nazi.
He's one of the generals in that army that he faced when he was a young boy.
Oh, okay.
And he's very flamboyantly. I think he's homosexual.
You think?
Yeah, he's very obsessed with his.
And
his
this is like normally they go on a flying carpet. This is a rolled up bit of what is it? It's a cord.
It's actually a pillar from a mansion. So he taps two parts of the pillar.
Yeah.
This is how he travels, and he throws the pillar into the sky and hops on it. And he can travel, hundreds of kilometres that way.
Okay. Well, this is a classical character.
Yeah, that's the old martial arts master's sister. And that's the evil King Piccolo when he's old. He uses the Dragon Balls to wish for eternal youth.
Yeah.
And that's where Goku fights him and he loses, but then he comes back and puts him away.
And they obviously have games.
Yeah, a lot of games.
And what are they like? Are they any good? Or are they just...
Yeah, there's all different games. There's probably about 60 different video games of Dragon Ball.
Sort of Mobius looking, like Mobius. What do you like about... What do you like about it?
I definitely like the action. I like the character designs, and I like the character growth, how they grow and change over the years. That's what I'm a big fan of.
Because I didn't know that. You've dragged me to that film that first came out, And you said to me at the end of it, "What do you think of that, Dad?" And I'm thinking, it's like I'm just looking
Well,
at
the one that we saw,
a long
it was-
television show, you know.
The one that we saw was just a big old fight, really.
Yeah,
But,
that's all it was. Yeah.
When it really is a story though, and it's a story of a boy that you meet when he's like 10, and you just watch him grow and have his own family. You know, they face enemies who are the most evil people you could ever think of that end up being his friends and changing. You know, it's.
Yeah, I remember he's Dill. He's a bit of
He is a Dill. He is actually the artist creator's favourite character.
Really? Oh, well, that's because he can mess around with him.
Yeah, because he's funny. He likes the humour side of it.
Yeah.
But I think it mentions.
Did this guy start off? Did he start off as a gag artist himself? Do you know? Do you know much about his very early work?
That's what his calling was. He doesn't like romance or anything like that. He likes action and he likes comedy.
Yeah. Well, I don't find it funny.
What do you mean?
Well, as I said, to me, it's just constipated comics, you know.
There's a lot of memes about that.
Yeah, is there?
Absolutely.
Yeah. Well, they're probably all written by.
Dragon Ball's been an endless well of
like-
memes for.
Yeah, but they're probably all written by the fathers of sons who like the stuff.
Probably.
So, and like you've been following this all your life.
Well, not all my life.
No,
I think
but-
it's.
I mean,
It just came up on the tally before school one day, and
Yeah.
it really grabbed me.
I thought Damien, your in-law your uncle got you involved.
Well, he sort of got me into superhero comics and stuff. This is a bit different though. It is a bit different.
Nice page.
Now, these are the new characters.
Yeah, they're interesting.
Egyptian.
And...
He's the god of destruction.
Yeah.
He's based on his cat when he was younger.
Yeah.
The artist's cat.
Yep.
And this is an angel named Whis, which is a pun on whiskey. His name's Beerus. Beerus and Whis.
So they're all named after food and drink.
Yes. And here is when he first transitioned into a god.
Oh yeah.
Because he's a god. Now.
What's this?
That's where Beerus and Whis live.
Oh, okay.
It's a realm that's outside of our comprehension, sort of.
And why they got guns all of a sudden? I mean, they don't really have weapons.
Well,
it's all about fists.
These three characters were the bad guys when Goku was 10 years old.
Okay.
They eventually did get their wish from the Dragon Balls,
Yeah.
but they accidentally wished that they could be young forever.
Ah.
And they got wished back into little kids.
Yeah.
So, she's like 60, he's 50.
So,
and they're,
so what's all this?
They're their guns.
They had guns.
Yeah, they have
I've never
guns.
seen them use guns. It's always fists.
Well, the main characters don't use guns because they use their fists, but...
One of my favourite words.
Archive.
Yeah.
That's Toriyama. Whenever he puts himself into the comic, he draws himself with the gas mask. That's him.
And why?
I don't know. I have no idea why he does that.
Because he doesn't want he obviously doesn't want anybody to know what he looks like.
He's a very, very private person.
So these are all the covers.
These are the covers from the original manga, from the first one there.
That's the first.
All throughout
okay.
the years.
I see. Yeah, that's the Western one we saw. So we've seen most of these before. We've seen most of these before.
I've seen them all. I've read the manga once. It was many years ago. I'd like to pick it up for myself one day.
Yeah. So there's hundreds and hundreds of them.
Yeah.
It's a weekly.
Yeah, that's right. It was a week. He was in Weekly Shonen Jump.
But when it came, I know that because but that was a really popular manga comic, and a lot of series bounced off of that one. They started in that and they went off. But I mean, this is now his own book, their own book, right? So how do they do a whole book for a week? That's a lot of work, isn't it?
It is. He went up to 6 days without sleep sometimes.
He must
thought
have,
he was going to die from sleep deprivation.
He must have a factory going,
Well, now he doesn't do much. He's an old man. He's retired. He's handed the reins over to a different artist. But,
Okay.
It's very corporate now. Dragon Ball is a very corporate product where there's a lot of wealthy.
Well, that's why they
people
brought it back,
pulling the
because
strings.
it's like Disney. Every 9 years they bring out an old film because for a new generation. A visual history, yeah. Well, okay. It's a nice end paper. I like that. You got anything in here? What have we got in here? No. Let's get it in the front.
As a fan of his art, it's a neat little book.
Oh, this is his sketches. I would have liked to see more of this.
I would like to too. There's not many of them. I do have a DVD set at home, which is very rare, and it does have a lot of his sketches and character designs in there.
So this is like what they got from Avatar, isn't it? They sort of.
Yeah, all sorts
You think
of
Avatar pinched stuff from Dragon Ball?
I think guaranteed the Dragon Ball artist has pinched it from somewhere because he's pinching stuff from everywhere.
Okay, well this is Viz Media and Dragon Ball A Visual History. Akira Toriyama, is that his name?
Yeah.
And Shonen Jump. So he's still in Shonen Jump, is he?
Well, he's not, but Dragon Ball is.
Yeah. Okay.
He just does the outlines of the story from now on.
Yes.
And other people fill in the blanks with finer details.
Okay, all right. Well, it's an expensive, but I think it's worth it if you're a fan, that's for sure.
Absolutely.
That's for sure. Okay, any last words on Dragon Ball Z to try and convince me that it's not constipated comics?
Oh, I don't. You couldn't be convinced. You'd have to invest a lot of time into it.
Yeah.
I have invested a lot of time in my life into the story and games and things like that. So, it's a good product.
Okay, well, this is Jim Bridges and
Rob Bridges
saying we'll see you next time. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Thanks for the sour persimmons, cousin.